Alright. Today should be pretty interesting. Oh dear, I think that might have been on. Also, how embarrassing. Let's see if I can't find the bot. There we go. Alright, can you hear me? Wait.
Hang on, am I set to like push to talk or something?
I have no idea.
Oh, I am. Okay, everything I just said just now, you didn't hear me then. Let me turn that off for a second.
Alright.
There we go. Now I have to push to talk. As I was saying, how far are you in your project right now, and what are you doing right now? Like, what's your goal today?
Well, today I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of random things, honestly. Like for one, I'm actually planning on getting a desert village built. I have it kind of on my screen at the moment. I gotta mute my game audio. And it's basically like a small tribe, I guess you could say, that lives here.
That's cool. I like the little the dust effect that you've put on the background there, or over the top, like the parallaxing or the fog or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'm completely avoiding the right name here, but you know what I mean.
yeah, it's a fog effect. I'm pretty big fan of the fog effect in RPG Maker XP. I'm kind of sad it's not an MV.
I mean, there are means to get that simulated in MV, but it's a hoop to jump, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. I know I was gonna do something here still, but I can't remember what I was doing earlier this morning. I meant to start off working on this area for the stream, but I just kind of got in a bit of a mood and decided to do a little bit of work off camera in the end. Still plenty to do though. Probably going
I
to
was
sprinkle some little ruined bits here and there.
I did a little bit of my project the weekend, not too much, but to the point where I could just figure out how to do like variables to transfer player because I needed it on the planes because the map's so big and I just can't have that many events around the edge of the map, so that was something I managed to figure out how to do.
I think I can
Yeah.
hear the cat whining for me.
Has she been fed yet? Or he, she?
Oh, he's been fed. He's been having a bad habit of uh, whining more than one occasion for food when we know for a fact he's already been fed. Naughty boy.
Well, they try it. They always try and see if they can get seconds. I know that firsthand.
Adding some smokestacks to some of these buildings, because why not?
Oh, why not? They probably use like coal or something, I imagine still, or even wood, maybe. So it would work.
Oh yeah. Oxorn has not really had its... Well, that's technically not true. They've had something like a industrial revolution of sorts, but that kind of fell apart very quickly.
They kind of regressed back into stone huts
I think
again.
I bumped my audio. There we go, that should be better. What were you saying? I bumped my audio accidentally.
I guess it would, like, make sense for something like that. I guess they've kind of, like, regressed back into, like, stone houses instead of whatever they used before. I imagine it was just, like, normal homes, and they just, like, quickly put something together. Is there gonna be, like, any evidence of any of that happening, or are you gonna tell that through the NPCs?
Well, how it's basically set up is when this version of the world was made, everything got hard reset, basically. So everything got warped around all over the place. Like kingdoms that used to be right next to each other got warped all across the continent to different locations, which is why you'll see evidence of like things that shouldn't be there. There's actually one town that's actually kind of stuck in a temporal fog, if you will, where its citizens are just trapped in a temporal stasis.
Oh, they're like tranced, I guess. They just stand there and they don't really do anything.
Yeah, it's basically like when you find it, you'll know because it has this very distinctive theme that plays in it that I made, and it also is just really foggy and gray. And it's just a whole city full of dark shades, if you will. They don't attack or anything, but they're basically the people that used to live there stuck.
Did you get the idea from, like, what was it? I don't remember the name of the island, but there was an island, like, IRL, and they had a volcano on the island, and so when the volcano erupted, a lot of the people there got kind of petrified and everything. Yeah, Bombay. I couldn't remember the name of the place, but that was kind of like, I guess, an IRL version of that happening. And
well, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
But the actual quote technology revolution I was speaking about wasn't like, say, our level of industrial. It didn't get that far ahead. But they essentially built flying airships at one point to counter the problems of the brink. And they actually used those same ships to traverse it and go fight the Mad One at his own turf. Sadly, the process of defeating him basically got rid of all that technology. I think the only people who would have that technology of any kind would be orcs. They're actually the most technologically advanced race aside from maybe the Shaoyun.
Is he capable of, like, resetting, like, I guess, economic states? Sociological states? Like, towns and, like, societies and all that?
Well, as a side effect of, well, what he did, I would say, sort of. I mean, it's not like he was just like, I'm just gonna mess with the fabric of reality. It was more like the whole, well, it was that, but it wasn't that. He didn't, like, affect the societies. The societies themselves just reacted to how things turned out.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if there was a bunch of kingdoms that used to work together to build the technology, they were suddenly, like, really far apart. And so that cooperation physically couldn't happen anymore. And because those people had secrets to that technology independent of each other, that technology would just fall apart and stop working. And eventually no one would remember it because it would be useless. It's kind of like a Monster Hunter world situation. Not the game, but like the world of Monster Hunter, I guess. if that makes any
Man,
sense.
Monster Hunter. I cannot honestly wait until fall for the PC version. I don't even know if it's gonna run on what I've got.
I'm resigned to having really crappy performance, if not an inability to actually play any latest games at this point. I hate
Uh,
using the thief character. I really gotta find some way around it, but I end up using them a lot.
Someone actually brought up something really interesting the other day. There was a video I was watching called LGR, and basically what he said like the gap between like system requirements and like games is getting so small that like you can spend like a small amount of money on a computer these days and it'll pretty much run anything. Or you can have a computer from like 7 years ago and it'll still run Witcher 3. It's pretty crazy. Um, but I remember a long time ago, you had to like update your computer like every 2-3 years. It was ridiculous how quickly like technology was going ahead with like games and graphical fidelity and all that. But like me personally, I don't really mind whether it's the best looking game in the world or not. It like it's about the experience, I think. Sometimes it can be about graphics if that's what it's like what's the word? If that's what its appeal is supposed to be, but mostly there
Excuse
for
me
the
there.
gameplay. It's all good.
Yeah, I generally just prefer experiences over, like, say, you know, quality of graphics. Like, retro games are still pretty fun because of their experiences and not really. I swear my audio is really low, music-wise. There we go.
I think my music's pretty low, like, on the stream. Let me take a look at my thing here. Yeah, my music's quite low, but I don't... If I turn it up anymore, I'm gonna make you scream on my stream, so I think it's fine where it is. Okay. So, what point in the story will this writer come into it?
That
these
one
riders
might
are there.
appear in Chapter 2.
You know what, the more you talk about these, the more like I'm sorry to draw comparisons, but it reminded me of what was it? The four elemental whatever they call them in from Final Fantasy IV? Are they gonna be like that, like over the top crazy kind of thing, or are they gonna be a bit more composed?
The individuals themselves are a bit more on the composed side, but some of them might have a little bit more crazy tendencies, especially the jailer and the, oh, which one was that? I can't remember. The scythe one. That one's probably going to be crazy too. But in
That's
general...
the one I will be drawing next, by the way.
Anyway, I actually consider them to be like the antithesis to the party. So on one side you would have Nero and all the other characters you've assembled, and then you have these guys on Death's side.
I mean, the whole reason to have kind of like, I guess like extra antagonists or something, if you will, is to just improve the characters to the point where they can beat final boss. That's the goal, right?
Pretty much. The first one you're going to encounter definitively is going to be the jailer, though. Let's see. Oh, I was distracting my mouse. Trying to get this place populated with some people before I get carried away with anything else. I'm going to have a few little hints here and there. That's the things you could do, I guess. Especially desert related. Like one gives a hint about you can't progress without a special set of gear to the actual desert region.
Is it gonna like burn you up like?
It actually currently just bars entry completely. Like it will just not let you in.
Straightforward.
Because literally too hot. Nero and the characters are just big wusses.
Yeah, it's like grabbing the icicle in Breath of Fire 1. Like you just can't get in there unless you have that item. It's like, oh, it's too hot. You need an item to go through here.
Right now, you can actually get the armor that's required to get in, but I just don't have it recognized that the armor exists right now. Like it doesn't actually check yet. But I can actually tell you where the armor is, just for fun. It's actually deep in the Pito Caves in the Dragon Steppes. Appropriately, you can find the anti-fire armor in the middle of a field of lava.
Wait, is anti-fire armor like, is it like strong against ice, or is it like, does it actually protect against fire?
It'll kind of mainly protect against fire element.
Okay.
Because it's meant to protect you from the heat of the desert, I figure it's going to be more of a heat shield. And there's going to be an opposing one for the snow climate area as well, which is also locked in the same manner.
It's like, when I was making my game, I was like, I don't have a snow area, so I think after the water cave, I just made one because it's like, there's no snow in my game. None. But yeah, it keeps it interesting when you have like, I don't know, like some kind of like certain items that are useful in certain areas. It kind of makes it more like a puzzle game, I guess. That's like a bad way to describe it, but you kind of have to like think about what you need to bring with you.
Let's see. Anyway, this is going to be a village you can actually find through the side quest system. That's one of the things I wanted to make sure the side quest system did, would actually be useful to you in some capacity. Oh, Atlas has joined.
Hasn't shown up on my Streamlabs yet. My Streamlabs, I think, updates like every 5 minutes or so. It doesn't update every minute.
Let's see. How many people do we have here? Doesn't seem like a whole crap ton, but we'll see.
Yeah, my art streams are generally more chill. I think people like stick around for the music and stuff, or just to see what I'm doing.
Hello, Atlas. How are you doing?
Hey there. It's art and game make.
Yep, while she's working on the art, I'm working on the actual game.
Yep, this art is actually for his game.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to decide which of these characters will somehow fit the most in this desert theme. Decidedly none of them so far.
Anyway, how goes the games, Atlas? What have you been playing recently?
I'm just gonna have this little kid chilling out underneath a palm tree.
Oh, yeah. I know how you feel about Warframe. I'm in the same boat about Warframe right now. I have nothing to do in that game. Like, it's so easy to level and cap stuff that... Yeah. You could play, like, once a week or, like, once a month, and you would still get everything in Warframe. Side with Fortnite. Yeah, PvP games make me salty, so I don't play them. Jackbox I'd usually organize stuff with. Dead
Right.
Rising is a fun game.
Alright, see how that looks.
It's not even just that, it's like, you can level all the weapons and stuff in a really short manner too. Like, I'm casual as anything with Warframe, because I'm not a massive fan of shooters. And, MR25, I have nothing to level. They haven't released any new weapons since, December. I have been playing Dragon's Prophet since that got relaunched, but even now with that game I'm just like, not playing it as much. The only exception has been this week because I've been helping friends catch Easterns because Chinese New Year event.
Alright, that's pretty much all I can really do with the desert right now. I don't know how I feel about doing the side quest to access this place, or at least to get a hint as to where it actually is located.
What was the Ruby thing you showed me? So you remember when VR chat was a meme thing last month? I installed it, and there was a room with that in, and it was, the people in there were awesome. Like, we were just messing around for a couple of hours in there. I don't even know the people, but they were fun to talk to. It was mostly people trying to climb a mirror and getting stuck in a wall.
Okay, let's see.
But yeah, you don't need actual VR for VR chat. I don't know if it's still as popular as it was last month, but yeah.
Where was I last time? Trying to figure out where I was last time when it came to the endings. I remember something about phase read I need to account for. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dreading working on my endings. Well, my ending. I'm just gonna say ending for now because of how much I want to do for it. I'm like, oh god. Because I don't want my ending to be short.
Yeah, definitely take your time with it.
Yeah. Because one thing I really like in RPGs is, like, you'll have, like, the main battle and stuff. And I'm gonna go with the obvious one to compare it to, but, like, in Final Fantasy VII, you do, like, 3 phases of Sephiroth, and then, like, the last fight is kind of just cinematic, where you can't really lose. It's the same in, like, I guess, Hat in Time and Undertale as well, where you eventually hit a state at the end of the game where you actually can't lose, and it's just for, like, I don't know, feel-good purposes, I guess? But yeah, that's something I want to do. "200 follows, congrats on that."
Yeah, congrats on the 200 follows. Still got a bunch of work ahead, that's for sure, but all the same, hope you get there. You'll definitely get there faster than I will.
I have a friend on a Discord, an old friend. He's been doing RPG Maker as long as I have, and he's been getting back into streaming lately, and he's got his followers, it's just the viewers that is his issue right now. But it was because of those people, or that RPG Maker group, that I actually started making my game in the first place. I mean, I probably would have anyway, but helped me push myself a bit. Seymour.
Seymour.
Steamed hams. No, I'm not bringing that meme into this. I already did that in a Shining Force CD run. I'm not doing that again. I like recited the whole skit. I used to find Final Fantasy X really difficult, and then I found out how to grind properly, and then the game became really, really boring. I really hope, like, people don't design their game that way ever again, because, yeah, that wasn't fun. It's not fun dealing, like, 4 nines to a boss, and then, like, to a final boss, and then killing him without him even doing anything to you. I think the most garbage final boss in a Final Fantasy game ever is probably 13's. Just because the way that final boss is designed, even if you have all the items you need to deal with the boss, like, you need death protection. But the catch is, the death protection doesn't protect against 25% of the spell. So you have a 25% chance in the fight to die still. And you have to do everything all over again. If someone's gonna die in a fight, there at least needs to be a way you can do something about it. Like, that's why I like the Doom status, I guess, because you can at least do something about that and you have time to react. If you're just gonna one-shot someone for no reason, then nah, not a fan of that. Yeah, because the version of Final Fantasy X we got in the UK, at least to start with, on the PlayStation 2, was the international version, and that was way harder. So I had to actually grind in that game. I think talking about how to do a final boss is pretty relevant. Or how to just do a boss in general is pretty relevant.
There's a lot of ways you can do it right or wrong, really.
Mm. Like, I'm trying to think of a final boss that's worse than Final Fantasy XIII's, like, outside of the Final Fantasy series, and I just can't think of any other boss. 13's is legitimately, like, the worst designed I've ever done. Kimari. The way you build Kimari, he like starts with his own grid, and then he can branch out into someone else's, and it really just depends who you like branch him to is what he'll end up being. I can't remember what I did with mine. Lulu's and Auron's. I think I went with Auron on mine. Just because he had the damage already.
Okay, I need to make sure that I get this right. Let's do phase 1. But yeah, on my end, I'm just gonna say it, I'm working on some of the endings right now, so spoilers exist.
Man, there are like some... When I'm like streaming game development, there are some scenes I'm like genuinely just like... against showing. Hey, what happened to my... Hello, Streamlabs, what are you doing? My Streamlabs has gone very strange right now. It's not showing any of my bots or mods. And I don't know why. I like looked away for a second and it just broke. Frank West.
I think I did something wrong.
The only time I've ever played Frank West in a video game was what was it, Cross Wars? 3DS? But I have seen people play Dead Rising and it looked like an amazingly fun game. I don't think I had a new console at the time though, so I couldn't play it.
Alright. They meet up right there. Alright, so now it actually repeats and it's not stuck. Now I need to make Prophet Mizod not lag behind the player, because that just looks weird. There we go. Now it looks like he's moving urgently. Okay, that's fixed. Now I just have to make sure the other one works.
Was this the event, by the way, you had trouble with the move event?
Oh no, it's a completely different one. It's actually in the final battle kind of stuff. I got that fixed, but it was like stupidly annoying to get it right.
So I'm gonna be legit honest right now. If I finished my game like tomorrow, which I won't, but hypothetically, if I did, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Like, I actually wouldn't know what to do with myself because, like, what do I do? Do I start a new game and spend 10 years on that? Or do I, like, go back over my current work and make it as good as it can be? Like, what are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna keep working on projects because I get very bored very easily. Plus there's a lot of stories I actually want to tell and only have so many years in my life, so the faster I get that done, the better.
Yeah.
I have an
It's like,
entire cosmology to get done. I've got work to do.
It's like me as well. Like, I started working on my project before I even came up with Adena as a character, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I have to put her in here some way now, but I can't make her a main character. So I did that. But yeah, I have a lot of stories that I haven't told yet. It's literally just one of many.
And now I am working on something completely random from what I was just doing, because that's apparently how my brain works. I'm going to be working on the chapter end scene, which is the actual text that says chapter end.
Yeah, if my brain tells me I need to be working on something right now, or if I have like the motivation to work on an aspect of my project that I don't normally get, I usually go with it, because then I get that bit done.
Alright, so we got text, pretty easy. Probably gonna make it like a light blue border. Looks good. Probably didn't need a different font than that.
Okay, my Streamlabs is fixed now. I don't know what happened, but my moderators all just vanished.
Here we go. That'll work for now. I just need to go get a nice picture. I definitely know I'll be using the Dark Escar picture as the Phase 1 ending card, pretty much. Because that's an awesome picture. I'm not making 500,000 Escar variants, that's for sure. But I need to do something for Phase 3. Probably gonna do one for each of the phases. I just have to figure out what that would be.
Nearly as many phases as Adena has, with like battle modes and God knows what else.
Ah, this picture works. Alright, time to get some fancy gradients in here. That works pretty well, actually. I wonder if I rasterized and did another layer on top of that.
You're lucky to have Manga Studio, by the way. That's such a good program for like certain things, especially drawing. Like in some regards, I think it's, for what you're doing, I think it's better than Photoshop. Sometimes if I can't make good line art in Photoshop, I just open up Paint Tool Sci, and I mean, in terms of content in that program, it doesn't have very much as, say, like Manga Studio. Like, Manga Studio is amazing for drawing stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't really got on the hang of it completely, but it's doing some pretty good work for me. Anyway, looks pretty nice. Might darken it though, if that's a thing I can do. Probably a thing I can do. Tonal correction. Of course I have to rasterize first. That's why wouldn't I have to? Brightness, there we go. There we go. Now you can now it's even more clear that you can see it. Okay, good. What do you think? I think it's a good picture for face-free revelation.
I'll have to look at on my tablet screen. Let me just move the thing here.
Oh, by the way, he's looking nice.
My monitor is like way too bright, so I can't actually tell unless I move the screen. I think it looks nice. I mean, it's quite dark, but if that's what you're going for and it works for you, then...
And we'll give it a look in the game itself. We'll have to compress that down to correct size, though. Because of course this thing has the one thing I don't... It has one thing... It doesn't have one thing, and that's the only thing that bugs me with it. It can't do specific resolution sizes. It just generic sizes everything. So I have to go to GIMP.
Oh no. So it's like standard sizes as opposed to you can type in what you want and it'll be this size.
Yep. With GIMP I can type in literally anything I want, even if it makes it look terrible. This thing just goes like 2000, I'm gonna automatically run that other number down for you. I know you really appreciate me doing that. It works. It would probably be not so annoying if I wasn't working with RPG Maker XP.
What's it? RPG Maker XP is 640 by 480, that's a standard size.
Yeah, I know for a fact that MV in particular, though, has less of a restriction on that kind of thing, though. Hello,
Hey there,
Ghost Eye.
Ghost Eye.
I need to actually type this name out. Let's see.
I like the Yagahay. Has Yagamoth been playing any more of the Secret of Mana remake?
Alright, time to import a new picture. Let's go to phase 2. That's gonna be an interesting question.
Ooh, he's gonna speedrun it. I know it can't be an RPG LB now, but maybe next year? Or next time they do Quest for Glory or some other kind of marathon.
Okay, rasterize this one.
It looks good. My complaint about it was the music, but then I realized when someone was reviewing it, you could change it back to the STES music, so after that I was fine with it. The only other thing I saw that could have been a problem was like how the AI behaved, but I guess that's about it. Yeah, I saw a guy play for like 10 minutes and the little sylph and the girl immediately got stuck in a wall.
Alright, and just to finish that off, rasterize. Yeah, that's a good choice. Phase free chap. No. 2 chap. 2.
This guy looks familiar. What do you think he looks like to you? Maybe I like unintentionally based it on something without realizing.
And now for the one that I was anticipating. Gonna have to pull up Escar for that one.
One thing I was thinking about when I designed like these was I don't remember their names, but it was like Ink something and something. Kayla, was it Ink Kayla and God, I don't remember the other thing's name. But they were like the Team Rocket of Landstalker? Oh, Raziel. Yeah, I suppose if you put it that way. I guess he does look like Raziel. I didn't intend for that, but that works. I like. Yeah, from the pictures that AOD gave me, they got like weird plate armor kind of thing. Like, I was watching a lot of like Might and Magic stuff recently, and there was this guy. Well, at the end, basically at the end of every like Might and Magic game, at least the originals, there's always like a sci-fi element to it, and that's what these guys remind me of. Is like the type of characters that are at the end of Might and Magic, like 6, 7, and 8. Well, not so much 8, but like 6 and 7.
Alright, that should be all the end cards, pretty much. My inspiration for their race is pretty much Samus. / Dark Samus. More specifically, Dark Samus.
I've never played Metroid. I think that's a crime. I'm gonna go to jail now. But yeah, I've never actually played Metroid.
Lock her up, boys.
I'd actually like to play like a game like that has the rooms and stuff and side-scrollery and the like. Because I've never played something like that before. I don't know what's gonna end up being first. I feel like this guy needs something on his arm. Might put like just like a big wrist thing on that. I don't know. It's very plain. I don't like plain.
You could add a bunch of scars, either that or like a crystal amulet bracelet kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah. I'm gonna draw it on.
Yeah, that should be all those.
It's not too late to add something like that. The only time it's too late to add something like that is never, because, like, as long as you have the original file, you can still edit it. Now, my problem right now is drawing circles freehand. I should use, like, tools, I guess, but... I could do it with arcs.
It's been a while since I've worked with GIMP in terms of like making actual graphics, but I just have an absolute blast when it comes to like making abstract stuff with it. It's the best thing for it.
GIMP is pretty much just Photoshop, but it's free. That's pretty much what it is. Like, back when I didn't have Photoshop, I actually used that for the longest time, and I was able to do everything in it that I would do in Photoshop because all the commands and everything were the exact same. You've played a lot of Heroes 5. My favorite Heroes is still 3. Like, my god, that is such a good game. I do recommend, like, the classic Might and Magic games, though. They're kind of like, Morrowind before Morrowind happened. Because you have, like, the big open world that you can explore, and, you can do quests at your leisure. You can... You have all the spells, so you can, like, fly if you find that spell. You can side with certain people, like, you can upset dragons, or you can upset, some soldiers fighting them. Heroes 3 has aged so well, and it has such an active modding community. If you ever get Might Magic 3, it would be the GOG version, and there's like a whole HD mod, 32-bit patch, and like there's a ton of like extra citadels and stuff. Like the game's still really popular in Russia, like for esports stuff, which is crazy because the game came out in 1999, so next year it'll be 20 years old.
That is an old freaking game.
It still looks amazing. It's like you look at the FMVs and they look a bit garbage, but the sprites and everything look really good. I'm gonna move this. Like the old Doom engine. The only Doom game I've played isn't really a Doom game, but it was made in the same engine, was Heretic. And it was like a magic version of Doom. You had like the monsters and stuff, but like all the buttons 1 through 9, like the weapons were all like different like magical weapons. Like you had a crossbow, you had a phoenix rod, you had like some other like crazy things. They were mostly like all spells. Heretic was the first FPS game you ever played. Yeah, it was the same. That was one of the first I played. I'm actually surprised something like that didn't get me into shooters, but I'm still not really into them. Like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like one of those games I don't mind in moderation, and it has to do something really different from other games for me to like it.
Yep, that's a nice title card so far. I'm liking that a lot.
The fade on the side works, I think. That and Hexen. I have Hexen, but I don't know whether like the CD box is for it anymore. I'm gonna have to find it. Because I'd love to play that. Like, the atmosphere of Hexen is amazing. An FPS I played but nobody played was Wheel of Time. That was another good one. Like, that had a legitimately really good story that I loved. Oh, it works with Cheesy Doom? That's great. Yeah, I'll have to try that. I don't know, a lot of games I played when I was, like, really young, I can still play now. I don't think they've, like, aged poorly.
Alright, that's implemented. This is gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, I still have to do that, huh?
I don't remember the, what was it? I don't remember how to... I forgot how to beat, like, a lot of the puzzles in Heretic, or I just couldn't figure them out, so I'd, like, type in the quicken cheat code all the time. Or I'd, like, turn them all into chickens and, like, walk around the map because I was, like, maybe, I don't know. When did I play Heretic? I was probably, like, 6 or 7 when I played Heretic, so it was probably a bit scary for me to have, like, enemies running around, so that's the thing I used to do.
Now to figure out the exact way to handle this situation.
Without making it seem like ham-fisted or like forced or...
Semi-dark elements I'm trying to mentally come up with is this way of presenting it too bad, or is this one too easy on the ice, as it were. Mainly just trying to decide the best way to approach it without going in either extreme. Let's see. Okay, so the main player is going to be sitting right there. So about 14 is what we're going to have to move. I'll just do phase 1 for now. Probably 11, probably 12 will be best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Copy.
So there's a reason why I work at such a high resolution, is because if you actually zoomed into my stuff, it looks so messy. But mind you, most people's art actually looks like that. That's why you go in a high resolution, so people can't see that.
I forgot I had all these events in here. Need to clear them out because that's just wasteful space.
So yeah, I've actually been having problems with my computer, like managing files lately. So I'm like, oh, I'm saving like every like few seconds here. I think I've kind of figured out what's going on with it, but I need a bit more time to fix it, I think.
And now that I've eviscerated the walls, it's literally just a bunch of floating furniture.
Did you make like a copy of the map, I guess?
Oh, this is the house of Eskar and Eridus all the way in a separate game map, so I don't have to worry about overwriting anything.
Yeah, I dupe maps for scenes because I found it's like easier to handle that kind of thing. It's not very efficient, but it works for me.
But yeah, there's just a whole bunch of floating furniture and stuff where there used to be rooms, and no more rooms.
I at least make the compromise up by like if I'm doing interiors for in a town, I'll like make the interiors all one area, and then I'll try and make like this like it so if you like run up against a wall, you can't see the interior of someone else's house, and like unless you're like next door or something. That kind of saves the amount of maps that are being used.
Yeah, I've been generally avoiding making more than one housing area, if possible.
Thanks for the 100 bits, Atlas. Thank you very much. 2400. Thank you very much.
It's locked in place, that's why. I know what's going on. It's being a little fart. Alright.
I wish I like. Part of me wishes I was in the US so I could like farm bits.
Oh yeah, that's right too.
But I can't.
Alright, now let's test it. Now it should work.
Lick crest. I probably butchered
That's
that.
way
that
too
name.
short.
That's some RNG. I need the RNG for like my speedruns. I am really nervous about the March run. Because I've had to pretty much just learn a new speedrun in a few days, so... Like... I'm playing the same game I always do, but I've had to, like... learn new stuff.
Alright.
I haven't done my daily practice of the skips. I've been doing practice every day, even when the stream's not rolling. I've been doing like morning and afternoon practice of the skips and stuff. And it's been working out. I think if I keep doing it, next time I stream, I'm gonna PB anyway, but... Shining Force 1. I find Shining Force 1 the harder of the Shining Force games for some reason. Like, people say 2 is harder, but I don't agree. Maybe because I haven't played Shining Force 1 as much as other people have. Everything just seems to, like, evade me.
Alright. So that actually works. Good. I think I'm gonna try moving characters up one more. Turn down. Turn down. Now let's see how that looks. Alright, that looks good.
Alright, you going to work or something at least? Take care. Right, this needs a lot more work, I think. Or
Liking
not,
the shading
I
on
know
his
it
scarf there. And, well, the head, actually.
needs. Sorry?
I'm liking the scarf and the head pretty good. Shading-wise. The eyes are
Yeah,
pretty
the head
nice.
needs more work, I think. Like, there's some highlights missing. Same with the scarf as well. I'll add those shortly. Bishop isn't done yet because, well, I basically had to tell my father as well that I couldn't finish, like, because he wanted me to do a book cover for him, and I was like, I can't do it right now because I'm doing paid commissions, and he's like, well, okay, that's pretty much it. As soon as I do a paid commission, I put that on the priority list, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, one day it'll be done. It's just good gravy. Have you ever played any King's Quest games? Well, let me tell you a story of my people. I played this little King's Quest game called King's Quest 7, and it's so bad it's good. I actually like that game, but I also hate it because, like, you can only play it once per install because it will just, like, bug out and not work again. Yeah, I've had the same problem with Thorum Gauser. I don't know if he is, like, actually, like, he wanted me to do, like, a Twitch background, like, offline starting up screen. But he never actually confirmed to me if it was going to be a paid commission or not, so I've just been like, and he's been like, take your time with it, so, that's also on the, like, the low priority list too. I've just been doing it when I can. I think the longest I've ever waited for a commission was my one of Heroine by a friend, but I let them take their time with it, and it came out really, really good. That was quite a while ago.
Alright, and we're going to do a screen fade. For 90 frames, and I just had this idea.
Yeah, isn't like Mask of Eternity like 3D? And it has like action elements from what I heard.
So move route.
I honestly don't think that game could be as bad as 7. I wonder why they decided to take a more serious tone with King's Quest 8.
Alright. Oh, not script. I definitely don't want script. Let's see. There it was. Definitely would not make it to that point, so just move up 2.
Oh god, that moment you realize you're using the wrong brush.
Alright, and that should be end of scene. I have no idea if that's going to flow together yet, but we'll see how it works. Oh yeah, I need to make Mizad and character disappear. Move her up there.
Looks like the camera just needs to be panned down so she and like everything fit without the box going over.
Alright, that should fix that scene. Alright, looks good. I'll be right back.
No problem. Alright, let's see how long we got left on this playlist. No, we're only an hour in. It's lightweight stuff.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I didn't realize this, but Kitty's hanging out on the bed, laying down, hanging out. He was keeping me company. I didn't even realize it. Oh, okay. Got plenty more work to do, but making good progress all the same. And on to ending 5. Copy.
Ending 5, wow.
It's mainly just a sequence of ending clips, rather than like actual end game stuff.
Oh, okay.
I just label them ending 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. so I know which one is in which orders.
Have you ever heard of the Clock Tower series of games?
And I think you've mentioned that to me once.
But they did kind of a similar thing, except they would letter their endings from like A to like K, I guess. But they'd have a lot of endings, but some like wouldn't be that impactful, but some would be quite major. But there is kind of one in that series I refuse to play because it's so bad.
Now I need to find a general kind of character design that would look good. Oh, that's kind of nice. That golden kind of armor. I like that. Even though the face is blue. Or just pretend it's like a helmet or something.
Can you, like, open that in Manga Studio, just select everything that's not his face, or actually just select his face and invert the selection, and then change the color of it, like with a hue tool?
Oh, probably. It's not a big deal.
I actually went out of my way to make a custom NPC. It wasn't a huge edit, it was just... I wanted to make Blacksmith Syrup, and he's like a dude with like balding and a beard, like a black beard. So I ended up like getting the blacksmith sprite and then just putting those kind of assets on him. Clock Tower 1. Or Clock Tower on PS1. Yeah, Clock Tower on PS1 was good. It was very slow to start. Clock Tower 2 I really hated though. That was such a weird game. Because it didn't actually have a clock tower in it at all. It just had zombies
0 out
in
of
it.
10, no clock tower.
Yeah, there was no clock tower in Clock Tower 2.
Worst game ever.
Oh yeah, I got near to getting the true ending on that, and then I did something wrong on the very last chapter, and it just messed me up. But I really liked in that game that you could play as so many different characters at different parts of the story, depending on how you responded. Like, one playthrough I was playing a news reporter, was it a male news reporter, and another playthrough I had a different fellow. And I was in a different, like, building, I guess.
So you know how you said you're just recycling certain areas for certain scenes and stuff? That's essentially what I'm doing right now. Like, why recreate the area when I can just copy every single detail? And why waste time with extravagant levels to complicated events when I can just make an entire extra map?
I don't like using switches if I don't have to, so...
I mean, I'll use them. I just... With something this large, I don't want to hop from one map to the other, to the other, to the other. And have to cancel out a whole bunch of different auto runs just to make this one auto run moves correctly. It's a...
Side note. Sorry.
It's essentially just one giant auto run event, chaining together with many other auto runs to make one big event.
No, Clock Tower 2 does not have the Scissor Man, that's why it's so terrible. Heroes 3 on sale for $2.50.
But do they have the scissor hands? Edward Scissorhands.
Edward. I think that's a movie. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure.
know, I was making a joke.
Was that like Tim Burton's like first thing he did, or did he do something before that?
I have no idea. I don't know anything.
Heroes 3 for $2.50 is definitely worth it. Like, you'll spend a good few hours trying to complete a game. And it has online support too, so there's that. I think for the GOG version you use Game Ranger. But the version on Steam is terrible. Like, Ubisoft tried making their own HD version, even though the classic version has a HD mod. And it has the Steam lobby, but because they lost the assets when New World Computing and 3DO went poof, there's no, was it Shadow of Death or Restoration of Arathia, and there's no tool set, which the tool set is like, making your own games is like the best thing about that game, so... Yeah, GOG is the way to go. I've made a map recently called Wizard's Arena, and it was literally just me playing the game casually while I watch AI destroy each other, and then they sometimes fly out and they try and kill me. Generally prefer GOG over Steam. I do too. That's where most of my games are, I would say. Though I would argue that I still have more physical games than digital games, which just goes to show how much has been collected over, like, however long I've been playing video games.
Of course that wouldn't work. Let's first try.
Wait, things are working? No, I'm being sarcastic. Nothing ever works first try, does it?
Nope. Okay, so that takes too long. Let's go 5 frames.
I wouldn't say every physical game, PC game I have, because it'd be whole day, but I have stuff like Morrowind and Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter and the good stuff.
Yeah, they're supposed to move forward, that's right. I knew something was off. Let's move them 5.
I think the only problem with physical games is they're harder to like get running than like just playing the GOG version, which is like DOSBox, so all the like compatibility stuff done.
Alright, that's pretty good. Nope.
Yeah, I like DRM free stuff. So most of the games I played had no DRM.
Let's see, let's put in some weights. Let's try an 80. $20, 100, 30. Alright, see how that looks.
Steam did say that if anything happened to their servers, they would like unlock the games, but I don't know how true that is. Like, they can say that, but doing it is harder, and like every company's gonna be different about it. So you would more than likely lose like some of your game library. I've seen like companies do really stupid things that make them go bankrupt. Like, does anyone remember THQ and that silly like peripheral they made for the Wii? It's like a drawing tablet thing. That's actually what made them go bankrupt, because they thought it was going to be revolutionary, and they made tons of them, and they were really expensive and no one would buy them. Yeah, someone did reach out to Steam or to Valve about it to find out what would happen. I still think like certain conditions would apply to certain games on the platform though.
Okay, that works. And finally, let's go track down the well map. Copy that. And we're finally getting to the last of these endings for now.
Yeah, THQ did do a lot of stuff.
And I delete like 90% of all this.
All it took for them to lose their company was just one bad business decision. I think before that they were doing fine. They just like put all their eggs in one basket and it just killed them.
I wonder if Konami's reading their handbook on how to fail epically.
The sad part about Konami is the CEO of Konami, as far as I know, is like a really old dude. He doesn't like video games, and like he's really into like gambling machines and stuff, which is why pachinko is such a big thing with Konami.
If they don't like video games, why are they in a video game making company?
God knows.
The money?
I think the reason why they were in video games for the longest time was just because that was the hot thing for a while. And it still kind of are, but they also have like a pachinko business as well, and they make like way more money in that than they actually do with their games.
I wonder why.
Because people are addicted to them and they're like spending their life savings on them.
I'm saying they would probably make a lot more money in the game development thing if they actually didn't make
terrible games.
Yeah, terrible games.
Well,
I'm not saying that they don't make
Konami.
good games, but they need to actually try.
I can tell you right now, I wouldn't work for Konami because their conditions are atrocious.
Oh, I've heard that too. I am also going to basically say publicly, like, to EA, if there ever was an occasion where they went like, hey, would you like to come on board? I would basically say to the whole world, I will never work with EA, period.
I don't think, like, I like making games as like a casual hobby, but I don't think I would ever, like, get into game development, like, as a business, because I think it would be too stressful. Like, crunch time is a big deal in that. Like, some people won't see their family for weeks. Like, they'll just be in the office working non-stop till late.
Yeah, not much of a way to live. All for indie development, but we don't want people to hurt themselves over the job.
That's why games don't need to look as graphically good as they are, because people... Well, it's been getting worse lately because, like, the hot thing for a while was sandbox games, like those open world games. And because of that, people were working, like, thrice as hard as they normally did. In, like, things like with Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft and whatever else, so...
I mean, some have gotten away with it because of just how well they were done, but there's no real excuse really for
They get
most
away
of them.
with it because their employees have to probably sign a contract saying that they're accepting those hours. And they do it because they do it or else they lose their job, pretty much. That's just how it is. Guys, they made Contra. They made Contra when they actually put thought into video games, and that was probably before the time they realized that they could make the most money out of not trying.
Alright, let's see how this looks.
Reminded me that I need to save repeatedly. It is actually a very likely scenario that I sometimes can crash on art streams just because if I even touch the cord at the end of my tablet, it can just blue screen the computer.
Have you saved recently?
Yeah.
Good
I
job.
have. I literally did it like a second ago.
Hmm.
With the problems I've been having with my PC lately, I'm tempted to like just back up my stuff on my computer, like get an external hard drive or something, and just back up all my commission work and stuff, especially my game project. Time Pilot and Frogger. I forgot they made Frogger. I don't remember what Time Pilot is though.
Okay, so 2 more and she'll be in the right position. In case people are wanting to actually see what's being spoken, I'll probably do a scene test once I'm done putting all these things together. But in general, I'm not really concerned with actually reading this stuff because my main objective is to actually get it functioning, not read it.
I think the next time I make a game, before I actually make said game, I just need a room where I can build all my objects and my systems and my NPCs, and then I can just go back to it when I need those props. Because then I'm not having to like remake things from scratch. Time Pilot, Atari 2600. See, I think that was before my time. When was Atari 2600? Yeah, 1970. Yeah, I definitely wasn't around for this. I think the reason why gaming was so appealing to Konami, because remember the arcades were a big thing back then? So they probably made a lot of their money from like Contra and Time Pilot and stuff by putting them in arcades and having people like put coins in. Because I imagine like consoles were quite expensive and kids who couldn't afford them and they wanted a game to play, they would go to an arcade and they would play it there. 82. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was around when the Genesis was a thing, or the Sega Mega Drive in my country. That's where I came to know about, like Shining Force and stuff. Oh, and Soleil, of course. I played Soleil and Shining Force when I was maybe like 3. It was like some of the first games I ever played. The one thing I do remember is I definitely wasn't attending school when I first played it. Like, I remember like maybe like the year after I started my first day of school. Yes. Yeah, I didn't have a Nintendo 64. I have a Super Nintendo that's never really ever been outside its box. Like, ever. My Mega Drive, which is set up in this room right now. Yeah, and then it was PS1 after that. But we only had like one game for it for the longest time, and it was a Digimon game. We had, what was it, Rumble Arena? But a lot of this stuff, I guess I absorbed as a child was like my dad just playing PC games all the time. That's something he still does.
That's cool. Let's see. I've never messed with the strength slider of screen flash. I wonder how good that will work.
I think it makes it more transparent.
That's what I would assume, yeah.
Family was a bit poor. Yeah, a lot of our stuff was given to us. I think my family was in debt at the time because of I don't remember what it was. Something happened, I don't remember what it was. It was like an accident or something? But yeah, we didn't get our first PS1 till like 2001, literally when the PS2 was becoming a thing. Windows 95. My dad's first PC, or our family's first PC, it was more my dad's, but it was an old Olivetti computer my grandfather gave him. And it couldn't really run much. It ran like old DOS games, and that was about it. Was it? There's something Panzer? What was it called? It was like Panzer something. I don't remember what it was, but play by PS1. So play Mortal Kombat and FF7. Yeah, we could only afford like one game for our PS1, so that's what we played for the longest time. I don't remember what our second game was. I'm trying to think. Spyro, maybe? I think that might have been the other game we got later down the line. It was also Digimon World, because I still like Digimon, so...
Setting up the Dark Eskar thing. He's looking pretty good so far.
Oh, thanks. Say stall, so like an extended burrow. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm not like a big fighter person, like I guess Rumble Arena's a fighter, but like I think I ended up liking like the sort of party fighter games more. Like the ones that you don't really take too serious. I guess like Smash where you have like a map you can run around on. The only fighters I actually own is Unlimited Codes on PSP and Melty Blood on Steam.
Alright, I need to get the right color down. Which one is it? That's yellow. That's blue. Green.
Second game? Spyro? Was it?
There we go.
I had Spyro 3. If you're talking about PS1 games I had. Which I'm happy if that gets a remaster soon, because if I wait long enough, it'll end up on PC as well, which will be weird. Because apparently Crash is coming to PC, and I don't know how I feel about that.
And we're gonna have a 100 fade out.
Played one of the Crash games. I've only played one myself. We actually have two, but I've only really played the one. I've played the first original one that came out on PS1, and my sister still plays the heck out of the one that was on GameCube, the racing one.
I love how our eyes fade out.
The GameCube was a cool console. It had Eternal Darkness on it. That was an amazing game. I loved all the things it could do, like it would pretend to delete your save data, and I think that's more terrifying than actual scares in a horror game. still needs more work, like a lot. Into survival horror. I like Kadelka. I like the From what I've been playing of Shadow Hearts lately, I've been liking those a lot, but they're more like RPGs. Kadelka goes down the more full horror route, but I like the aesthetics, I guess, and the monster designs are very abstract. Siberia. I was about to say if it was that Siberia, but no, I haven't.
Alrighty.
Alright, so one thing I kind of want to do is... I want to try compositing here just for a second. I just want to compare. Hang on, I see what I'm doing wrong here. Delete. Wait, no, I did that right, didn't I? I don't know what I'm doing.
See how that works.
Just trying to see what they look like together. They look pretty okay. Might have to make him a bit smaller, but I mean...
I think he's playing small, but you could like tweak the scarf so that doesn't make him quote seem taller, if that makes sense.
I could. You know what I could do? I could cheat pretty major and... So I'm gonna save this version, but I'll make a new version that's like merged, and then I'm gonna cheat by just grabbing the entire layer and contorting it. Hopefully it'll work. Sometimes it doesn't quite work how I want it to. That looks better. That's one way that you can cheat the system. So we'll delete him, and we'll put him back in. That looks a lot better now. Magic scarf of physics denial. Alright, let me catch up with what you said here. Windows 95, futuristic spy game, you can make bad decisions and not find out that you can oh god. You mean like King's Quest V? Didn't that have a thing like that in it? Where you could play through the entire game and if you like do one thing wrong, you have to like do everything over?
Alright, we got that one wrapped up. We're gonna make it like 200.
Scratch discs? No! Alright, I'm gonna have to clear stuff. There's you. Better save this one. The part where the, oh, I see. So it was like a point and click then? Okay. Now this shouldn't be a problem. Alright, now we got the full-size version.
Nice. Can't wait to see what you do with it.
The scythe one's probably my favorite one, just because it has a scythe.
I can practically hear Healer getting salty about the scythe even right now. So Haler, one of my friends, actually has a thing against scythes because like they're so overused.
I've barely used like how
Like,
many times
in
do you
media.
actually see a character in a game use it?
I think he's kind of referring
banking
to
on
like
them.
anime, especially
Oh.
like death-related characters. He goes like,
Why don't
it's
you-
not even a versatile weapon at all.
Why don't you go against the grain and have like an angelic reaper? A guy with a scythe, but it's like all white and pretty and feathered and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. You just gotta think outside the box. That's all you've got to do, and then you can turn an idea that's, in quotations, overused into something that's decent. Oh, Ruby. Yeah, I guess Ruby repopularized scythes again.
I bet he's salty about that in particular. I do like Ruby myself, it's just that I've not seen that in so long.
Same. I haven't watched the most recent season, and I didn't finish the last season. I got like over halfway through it. I like Ruby. I miss Montium though. Like he was like, no joke, like an idol, I guess, because he was so good at what he did, and he worked so hard.
Yeah, he was a pretty cool animator. And cool guy from what I heard. Alright, now I have to link all this crap actually together. That's the fun part. Will it break when I stress test this thing? Can you work under pressure? That's the most important question.
I need to make this background lighter so I'm not tracing on it. I really shouldn't be doing that.
Okay. Try and get this to work. Transfer player. Okay. Alright. So now, I'm gonna get things set up for an actual run of the ending.
Ending run would be like the fastest playthrough ever.
Especially because I'll be skipping through all the combat stuff, like literally just skipping past it. That's a thing I can do. Hooray for labels.
Someone actually did was it steamed hams with splits? As if it was like a speed run. I just laughed so hard when I saw that.
Oh, does this actually skip? Okay, that's one skip. Alright. Let's find jump ship. There we are. Alright, this should work then. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna BRB again, and when I get back I'm gonna do a run through it. If you wanna check it out, you're more than welcome to. I'll let you know when I get back though. I'm back. Anyway,
Welcome
before I
back.
start, I did actually have this kind of thing I wanted to mention. Although I do kind of like it now, in hindsight, when I first saw the show, I was like, what am I watching right now?
Are you talking about Ruby still?
Yeah. Because my impressions from like the first trailer, couple trailers, was that it was definitely not going in the same direction that I thought it was. So,
And then it did.
but a few things that turned me off were like some of the more cheesy anime trope things. It was just like an animation kind of quirk that did not work well. Like, really didn't work well with what they were going for. Like, you know how they're 3D models, essentially, right?
Yeah.
They were trying to capture the essence of a hand-drawn anime or something like that. But the problem is it just looked bad. Like, you know when they wrestled in the living quarters or something and there was like dust clouds and stuff? Catfight?
Oh yeah, like the cartoon cloud things that they had, I guess.
Yeah, that was just awkward for me. I was just like... A few things got off easier than others. The cookie eating thing was a little bit borderline with me, but it was generally fun.
I was honestly expecting the show to like go like dark like I expected to, but not quite as far as they went.
Mm. Yeah, I get the whole super low budget thing, but it was just it just didn't work well. It was a risk that didn't work out, but in the end, they actually did impress in a number of areas, so I stuck around for it. It wasn't the same direction I imagined they were going to go with it, starting off, but yeah, it was enjoyable. Though I will not forget the caffeine song. Forgive the caffeine song. It was just like, you're singing about caffeine. Okay then. That was like the only thing I didn't quite get with the whole second season. That was the one thing I didn't really like. I think they got better with the background characters too. Like, first season had silhouettes and stuff.
I can't even compare the latest one because I've not seen it, but I imagine I'll remember to soon. Probably later rather than sooner.
I'm not like hating on it, by the way. I'm just like kind of like saying what complaints I originally had and how it compares to how I feel about it now. I haven't actually watched the past 2 seasons, so I don't know how it's gone. Though I did get semi-spoiled on a title, so that was irritating. I was like, great! Now I get to look forward to definitively not getting surprised. Anyway, I'm gonna turn on my game music and stuff so we can actually experience this.
Right, I'm gonna be right back myself because I've been grinding for a little bit. I'm gonna grab some stuff. I'm gonna actually grab my sketchbook as well because I want to just look at like the original sketch I did of these and see what details I can add.
Alright. I totally get that. I just don't get nutty like that for most series, even ones I really do like a whole lot. I mean, the most I usually do is, if I do see it nowadays, I might buy it in stores. I did consider buying a collection of Ruby, just to see. But I feel like if I'm going to do that, I'm going to watch all the current stuffs before I do that kind of thing. Because I want to know if it's actually continued its good strides and all that. Oh yeah, I didn't think about something. Hold on. Let's see. This is probably going to be broken if I don't fix it. Nope, never mind. It should work just fine. Alright, we'll be good now. Just have to make sure. Yeah, Zephyr, I've actually added a couple of details since I last showed you this. A couple of cutscenes here. There's a lot of tweaks I've made. There's one or two things that need to be tweaked, but in general the boss battle scenes are working a whole lot better than I did them last, you saw. I think I'm gonna start skipping ahead because I just would rather see how everything flows right now.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I had to also find my sketchbook, so I've got that now. So now I know where I can go with this drawing here. Hey there, Julian Carter. Let's see what I missed. Top tier fan of Ruby. I have the first season on DVD. go to the theater events. There's some crazy people there. Casual stuff. Oh, let me tell you, when I was in Birmingham in January, I was only there for 2 days, but me and my frienders, we went into that Tokyo shop, and we decided to do it on a Saturday, which was a really bad idea because there were some very passionate fans in there. I felt sorry for like the clerk because she had to deal with it as there was this like one girl who was like, I don't know if she was like screaming or shouting or like she was like really into what she was into. And she was like, next time I come into the store, I'm gonna cosplay as Edward Elric. And then she was like talking about Ruby for ages. And you could see that the woman, the counter, just wanted to serve other customers because it was just busy as hell. But yeah, that was interesting.
Interesting mention of Edward Elric in there. Not even related to Ruby.
Well, there were Ruby people in there too. But yeah, we are confirmed going to Birmingham again for EGX this year, so maybe we'll go there again on a Thursday when like no one's there and yeah. If you want to see like obsessed fans, I guess MCM is a really good convention for that. You have the furries, you have the bronies, you have the... Well, at least when I went, there were a ton of people into Homestuck. Well, for the most part, it was fun. EGX is a bit more formal. I like it a lot more. You don't really get people... Like, it's a cosplay pageant, but it's not a really big thing there. Because it's only for, like, video game characters and stuff.
Just gonna make sure that this is all patched up. Alright, next try.
Bronies. Yeah, there were bronies there. Not EGX, but MCM in London. Like, MCM is easily one of the biggest, like, gatherings in the entire of the UK. There were so many people there, like, some people it looked like they'd travelled a long way as well.
I will make no comments about bronies.
Yeah, I like the classic My Little Pony when I was like 6 years old, but that's about it. I don't talk about it. The only thing that I couldn't understand were there were people crazy enough to be in like full, like, didn't matter, there were like bronies and like furries and like full like fursuit kind of things in them at MCM. I was like, how do you do that in summer? How?
They don't, they usually pass out. That's what I imagine would happen.
I can't tolerate heat. I just melt. But yeah, I prefer EGX because That's in September when it's nice and cool. And even on the venue floor, it's quite cool, but like in winter MCM, that because there's no like air conditioning in the room where on the show floor, oh, it's just really like hot and uncomfortable in that place. I did get to meet cool people though while I was there, so I don't regret going. The Woogie face. I haven't watched this Woogie in a while, I really need to. So, hello! Is it me you're looking for? I didn't tell you, did I, AOD? But there was one time on S3's stream where he basically has like individual bit notifications, so like for like a random number like 464, it will play like the Lionel Richie song, like the first few lines of it. And so people thought it was a really great idea to just spam that particular bit amount. So he would say it over and over and over again, and they did it so much that it actually broke the Streamlabs bot, and it wouldn't stop singing that song. I wish there was like still a clip of it on the interwebs, but that was amazing. Embrace your inner Lionel. There was one day he played one of the most notable streams I remember him doing was he streamed Age of Empires 2, and he was like, as soon as he started playing, he's like, oh no guys, he's like, oh no, this game's too fun, I'm gonna have to ban it. And then he ended up actually banning the game because he couldn't stop playing it. Which I don't blame him. Age of Empires 2 is an amazing game. When does STDQ get announced then? Probably not till like June, right? He only banned it after he played for like 2 weeks straight. Yeah, I saw that he kept playing it. I wish I could ban myself from games that are too fun, but I can't curb it. I can't quit.
I'm predicting that there's going to be something that's going to keep me from watching the entire ending all the way through now. I'm committing just because I want to see if it's actually true or not, and I don't want to stop just to find out that I did everything right. So, coin toss.
Assault Android Cactus? What's that game? I had to stop myself playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3 after one game because that's a bad game to get hooked on. Cause that's too much fun. All the things you can do to win, like there's so many different ways to win in that game. Shoot 'em up.
This might just actually work. I'll have to go and tweak that ending though, because that was definitely not how I want to approach it.
I have the same problem with American events. Like, there's so many cool events in the United States, but I can't go to any of them because money. So, we went for the cheap option of just going to one where we live. Well, I won't say where we live, but in our country at least. I'd like to go to the UK eventually though. I feel the same about America. I want to go there one day. It'll be fun. There's just like there's too many places in America to choose to go to. I mean, the one place I probably won't go to is Alabama, but you know, there's plenty of choice.
Alright, so that route actually works. Now we just need to make sure the other ones do. Okay, I'm glad I stopped when I did, otherwise I would not have been able to actually see this work. Right, so that should fix that up.
Yeah, EGX is like 3 hours from here. Though the last time we went to EGX we had to transfer to London, so the journey ended up taking 5 hours. We literally just like went like west and then we went northeast, which didn't make a lot of sense, but that was the way the bus was going, so yeah. I wouldn't like to go to a place that's like pro-gun. Well, most places in America are pro-gun, but it's like I've heard like horror stories in particular about Alabama where like someone literally has been shot twice by living there, like, and he's only like lived there a year, so. As someone who's like grown up in a society without that kind of thing, it makes me very uncomfortable. My favorite firearm is a sword. My favorite firearm is a sword. Man, if those things are actually still worthwhile.
I didn't really catch what you were saying until I thought about it, and then I was like, wait, what?
My favorite firearm is a sword.
Okay. So she like so. Wait a minute. There's something not right here. Okay, so it's not the outcome of battle. Let's see. Actually, it is the outcome of battle. I'm not sure what I'm on about.
There are guns allowed in the part of the country where I live, but it's purely for like hunting and stuff. And I think they use like airsoft or something like that. I don't know what they use, but they use something that's not crazy. But imagine if like swords, like you could just materialize a sword in your hand. You could just like your entire thing would just be throwing swords at people. Oh, I'm right at the end of this. I need to find something soon. Need to find another playlist soon. Knives are so useful.
I would imagine you would have to have like a permit or something for a sword. Or a license or something like that. I don't think Britain would let you just walk around with a sword strapped to your hip.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I know that America is criticized for being fairly, we'll say crazy for its weapon control laws, but I don't think we let people run around with swords.
Nah, no place actually allows swords, so just being unrealistic.
Yeah, I know for a fact that not even in the US we're that crazy. We're pretty crazy, we're not that crazy. I'm pretty sure my fake katana would raise a lot of eyebrows. It's a very convincing katana in that it's made of metal, but can't actually hurt someone unless I went for the stabby motions.
There is, I don't know if it's still around in the town I live near. Like, I live in a village, and I have to bus if I want to go to town, and yeah, that had like a store with like ornamental swords and stuff, and they did like ones from like TV and movies and like games. Like they had the Master Sword in there and
That's cool.
other things like that.
That would probably be a favorite store of mine, to be honest, because I like swords. I can practically sense the fact that I'm going to become a sword collector in the future when I actually have the money for it.
My favorite thing about that store was they didn't just have like weapons and stuff, they had like statues and they looked bloody amazing, but they were so expensive. Like if I ever got into like decorating, I would buy a ton from there.
There is no way I could have my katana strapped to my waist in plain view and someone would not call the cops. I'm sorry, but that would never happen. Especially not where I live. That would definitely cause problems.
In EGX and MCM, they both had like ornamental weapon shops where you could buy like stuff like that from. Like they even had like crossbows and hammers. It's like the amount of stuff they had was crazy.
Now, if it was like a convention, I could see that working out, but other than that, I've never heard of a law that lets you do that. Of course, it could exist and I just don't know about it, which would be awesome, but I would never, ever test my luck with that. Because just because it's not illegal doesn't mean they can't come up with some arbitrary way to get me arrested. That is a thing that they might do.
Like, I think what you're supposed to do, I don't think it's true for Britain, I think you'd just be arrested, but, I think you have to have it in a visible carry case, and you'd have to probably be escorted by someone or something, or, like, a vehicle. Alright, I think this playlist is done. No, it's started another one for me. What a nice thing.
In these scenes that I'm kind of going through, I actually did a bit of a special pixel art thing, in which I took the sprite of Eskar and manipulated it so it looks like she was disappearing into smoke. For this particular scene.
Oh, I would like set a fade out for something like that, but that's kind of cool.
It was like her soul was burning out kind of thing. So I wanted it to be particularly, quote, special. It's a tiny little thing they did.
Dying. What am I doing? He's not holding anything. I'm a dummy. I'm gonna have to pen tool this.
I think this state is okay with concealed carry in some situations, but open carry, I don't know about that. Carrying laws are very fickle. They could go. I think they could go with disturbing the peace if they wanted to. I don't know who brought it up, Alcade. It just suddenly we're talking about weapons. And
I mean, I'm drawing a scythe right now, so it's appropriate.
There are, in fact, concealed weapon laws in some states. Ones that I've lived in, at least. In terms of permits and stuff.
I feel like I'm gonna add more to the scythe of your character here, because the sketch is very plain, but I've got an idea of what kind of details I'm gonna put on it. I'm just doing the groundwork for it right now. I feel like the handle should be longer too. I'll sort that out eventually. Yeah, I'm not sure about the laws in the UK. I think UK is very funny about stuff. I think it didn't help because it was like cities as well are a big thing. Like if you have an airsoft gun and you're in like where I am, where there's like a lot of country and there's a lot of like wildlife and stuff, I don't think they care as much, but I imagine they would start caring in London. They're like very hot about that in London. Alright, let me see if I can do something different here with what I've got.
Oh yeah, there's definitely things that they could do better in the US. I'm not going to argue with that one. I think some people are a little bit too overzealous in some regards of it, but I generally agree with the assessment that there are things that need to change.
I think where people have had guns for so long and it's like a symbol of power, they just don't want to give it up, and that's pretty much all it is. Like it's a kind of, I guess it's like an adrenaline rush, I suppose.
Okay, so that's a problem. Generally, there's a lot of different elements to the whole thing, which is why there's such a contention about it. but you have a whole bunch of different elements as to why things are the way they are in the United States, and why you can't just go like, "Oh, you people are crazy."
Europe sucks right now still because of like the European Union controlling everything and literally being richer than like actual independent governments in countries. Like they're way too powerful right now. But that's me getting very political about it, I guess. I feel like if people are given too much power, they abuse said power. I think in America it's kind of necessary to have one, almost, with the way things are. As someone like visiting from the UK, I would just be weirded out because I wouldn't own one myself and I would feel very unsafe.
So this is kind of a perspective that I have about it. Well, it's not really my perspective, but I understand the perspectives. So the situation is a little bit of culture, it's a little bit of the traditional anti-government in case the government ever tries to, you know, overthrow our free will, blah blah blah. There's a little bit of that stuff, not that having a shotgun is going to do much about that these days, because, you know, tanks exist. But there's that kind of argument. But I'll explain kind of the first one a little bit, because that's one of the more defendable ones. So one of the reasons people care so much is hunting is a bit of a social thing in some parts of the country. And
I can agree with that because hunting is a big thing where I live. At least like fox hunting and badger hunting and stuff, pheasant hunting.
But yeah, you have like whole families that basically are united through childhood memories of growing up with these guns and their family that had them and hunting.
Yeah,
it was
I
a
can
very
understand
close
that.
familiar bond kind of thing. So they have to grow up understanding the rules and regulations behind it, even very early on, in order to participate in these things. So they can't just, you know, get out at the age of 5 and have a gun. They're told by their parents and stuff. Gun safety, before they even have to go to a government thing, they learn from their parents all about it. So those people, it's just instinctual that they understand the rules. Now, this is not all of them, but that is a fair number of the people who defend it in that regard. So people going like, you're a bunch of gun-crazed people. Well, you didn't grow up with guns in that kind of family setting. I wouldn't say that they're crazy so much as it's just a pastime to hunt. And that,
It's something they've always done and they don't want to get rid of it because
yeah, they don't want to
tradition.
get rid of it because it's important to them.
It's like how like people didn't want, because fox hunting got banned for a while. I don't know if it was ever re-legalized, but like people were really passionate about that, like really passionate about it, and when that got banned, people like were doing it illegally for the longest time. And I don't actually remember if they re-legalized it again. I think they might have. But yeah, that was something that people here were like really into. Personally, I like all animals, so I think if an animal's gonna be killed for a reason that's not like food and just as a trophy, then I don't really approve of it personally, but that's me.
That's pretty much the best way to look at it, Ghost Eye. If we just focus on the actual people behind the situation and not, you know, the guns. The guns are slightly part of it, but it's nowhere near as paramount as the actual mentality of the people who have the weapons.
It's more like a why rather than
Yeah, we should
anything
be
else.
asking why did this happen, not how it happened. We know how it happens. We have a pretty clear understanding that these people are getting shot with guns. That's obvious. But
The only thing that ends up grinding my gears is when they start blaming, like mass shootings and stuff on things that aren't even relevant.
video games.
I think people I think messed up people are just gonna do messed up things anyway. I don't think a video game's gonna tell them how to do a thing. Don't you have like a big raccoon problem in America in like certain parts?
Probably.
I don't know if raccoons are an American thing, but
I'm certain in some parts of the country there are raccoon problems. I've not really seen that many. I've occasionally had run-ins with them, but it's never been that bad. I know my parents have stated otherwise. I actually have two different accounts of raccoon experiences I have that are both pretty interesting. The first one's more of a humorous thing. So, when we had our cat, Moshi, one of our first cats, he was very much an outdoor cat. And so, he would eat outside all the time. He rarely was ever indoors. Because we basically kicked him out after he basically refused to use a litter box. So, and that was not my decision, by the way. Anyway, one morning, kind of foggy, we're out there. Well, he's out there munching on his food, and all of a sudden, this big, fat raccoon just walks right up and starts eating on his food alongside him, and he just kind of like backs off to the side and kind of just watches. Like, hello, how you doing? And they don't fight, they don't do nothing, they just... Moshi's watching, and the raccoon just stuffing his face. Feel like they were best buds or something.
I was gonna interject something there, but it's probably inappropriate for your stream, so I won't. But he was being a bit of a cat, is what I would assume. I mean, they could have been friends, but he might have just been really scared of the raccoon. He was like, "But look, buddy, okay, I'm gonna let you do your thing." You can actually teach cats to use the litter tray properly. You have to like literally put them on it every time it's appropriate, and then they just learn that that's where they're supposed to go. But yeah,
oh, yeah, boars, I'm very sure are a big problem, especially down in Texas.
Boars, Jesus Christ, boars would terrify me.
Texas has to deal with that apparently. I've never seen one, and I'm
I've
honestly glad I
seen-
haven't.
I've seen a boar in real life, but it was in a cage, so it wouldn't have touched me.
The second raccoon experience I had was, well, not really one that I've experienced, but my mom and dad did. So, pretty much in the morning, I would say, I can't remember when exactly it happened. They heard a noise. Actually, it was Dad who heard a noise. So, he goes out to investigate, and there's this raccoon, like, stuffing his face. But when he realizes he's been caught, his hand is just, like, up in midair paws, like he knows he's been caught. And then when Dad tries to go after him, he basically turns into a demon, and, you know, is incredibly violent. Especially once Dad gets him pinned underneath the sink in the pantry.
Oh god.
So we basically had to get animal control on that situation.
Did you ever hear my like pheasant story? Because that was kind of similar, except that was actually at work when that happened.
I have never heard this story.
So I I was working afternoon that day. It was when I was doing 3 days a week, like when I'd first started working at the post office. And so the top end of the post office close is at like 12 o'clock on a Saturday. So that's when mailing pretty much just ceases. And I'm on the counter. I come back from my lunch break. My boss comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, we need to do something about this bird in the back of the post office." I'm like, "What do you want about?" And so we had this like big charity statue. It was like Postman Pat. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it was a big children's statue in the back for like a charity where you'd put coins in him. And sitting right next to it was like a big chicken. It was like a big brown bird. It was a female pheasant. And so we had to spend the afternoon trying to get it out of there and outside. But we didn't really have the stuff to get it out. So I had to opt for wrapping my hands in towels so I wouldn't get scratched. And when I went over to pick it up, it flew, like, I carried it, and then it decided to jump out my hands, and then it, like, flew to the front of the store, and there were some girls queued up, and they screamed like anything. The bird hit the cigarette cabinet, it, like, fell, like, it didn't hurt itself that bad, and then it dived into the corner, like, right next to where the counter, like, behind the counter, underneath a shelf, and it was like, it just wouldn't come out of there. Eventually what happened was, we had to turn the lights off in the shop, even though it was still open, and we had this farmer guy come in, and, like he was good with, like, birds and stuff, and he ended up helping us get it out. But yeah, that dude was a champ. The bird was fine. Put some seeds. We didn't have seeds. In fact, because we're in a village, there weren't even any, like, flower shops or anything. Like, the only flower shop we had was, like, gone. I guess the next best thing would have been bread, but I couldn't leave my position, so... But yeah, that's the bird story.
I think I hear thunder.
Thunder?
Yep. We're entering that time of the year again.
If we ever get a long period of sun, it usually thunders straight after, because it's like, wait a minute, this weather's too nice. It has to swiftly remind me that I'm in England and the weather's like one type of thing, which is rain. If it's like snow, it's very, very rare. I think I want to do that.
Still to this day, my mortal fear is hearing tornado sirens. Like, when I was a kid, when I heard that thing and go off for the first time, it was pretty much scarring my mind forever.
A flower shop. Yeah, we literally, like, when I was, like, really young, they literally had a flower shop in our village. It sold nothing but flowers. I imagine it went out of business because the flowers kept dying or something, because there were so many of them, but... Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, we didn't have it then. Like, I think it was like 98 when the flower shop died out.
But yeah, like, tornado sirens, I'm not sure if you've ever heard one, especially from where I'm from, Zephyr, but if you ever get the misfortune of hearing one, you will probably be haunted by it. It is, like, one of the most eerie sounds ever.
Is it like the Blitzkrieg?
I don't know Unfortunately, I try to find a good example of it, but it's really, really hard to find that specific sound. Oh, the sirens are terrifying in of themselves, but tornadoes, I've never seen one. I don't want to.
We don't actually have those in our country because we don't have, like, unless you're in, like, the southwest of England in, like, Cornwall, or if you're in the north of Scotland, you don't have to really worry about, like, floods. And tornadoes just don't happen here. I don't know why. I think it's because we're mostly, like, safeguarded by Europe, and, well, I'm not in Scotland, so I don't have to worry about the top side of stuff.
It's very specific regarding geography, basically. We get them in our area because of the Gulf and the, why can I not remember the mountains? Gosh darn it. I am so bad. I don't even remember the mountains. Gosh darn it.
It's okay, I don't remember the mountains in my country either. And I had to do a lesson on naming all of them, so that worked out.
Rocky Mountains. Why is that so hard? Dear Lord. Anyway, the Rockies provide air on one side, and then you have the air from the Gulf and whatever comes north and stuff. That pretty much creates conditions perfect for tornadoes. And because your general part of the ocean is a lot colder, you don't get that warm and cold air passing through each other.
No. Like, it's usually one thing, it's usually just cold. Like, if we get wind, it's kind of... Like, people make out on TV, it's serious, but it kind of isn't. Compared to what some people get.
That's actually some pretty strong thunder.
I think British people just like complaining about everything. That's our thing. We just complain about everything.
I'm having trouble with this one move route. It's gone way too high up once, and then way too low second. I'm hoping it doesn't do it again, because that will be very irritating.
Oh, I heard that. My god.
Oh yeah, you can hear that?
I heard it, yeah. Should you be keeping your stuff on?
If it gets stronger, I'll kind of abort mission, I guess, but we'll just have to see, because it may be a very short storm, or it could be a very long one. I will actually, when I'm done testing this, I'm gonna go and check what the weather's gonna be like for the next couple hours.
Okay, yeah, because usually as soon as I hear something like that, I immediately just turn everything off.
But I mean, like, the lightning almost never hits close to me, generally speaking. So, usually it's never a problem. Like, you never really hear it. Like, if it lands, like, right next to you, it is monstrously loud. It's rare that that kind of level hits this area. Well, our house area. Yeah. Or at least, switching off the, power on the power strip. Well, the best way is, of course, unplugging it.
You count the flash between the the sound, and that's how many miles away it is, usually. At least that's how we do it. It's probably not entirely accurate, but...
Hey, Ollie. What's up? What? You want on my lap? Come here. Come here, buddy.
I'm looking forward to next month. Little babies. We basically called someone and we called someone and they said there'll be some ready in March, so I'm like, yes, babies.
Hang out for a while, buddy.
Yeah, we're getting kittens next month. I don't know if it's the beginning of next month or the end of next month, but we'll be adding new kittens. Because we have a lot of cat food that is not being eaten, so it needs to go to something. Hang on, you know what, while I'm here... I think this music is relevant as well, because this playlist doesn't help, because this is literally the music I played to my cat on her last week, so I need to change the playlist pretty soon. Let's see. I think this is worth showing. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. I'm gonna share this on stream. This is worth sharing on stream, absolutely. Right, I'm sharing this because it's worth it. That's my lovely girl. That was from June last year, I think. I love cats so much. I can't live without them. But it's like, I move and she like follows. It's so sweet. She'll like see my foot and she like just like pulls herself up to it. It's so cute.
I have the esteemed honor of having both a cat and a dog. Oliver and Puka.
There's something I would do. I would like pretend to die on the floor, and she would come over, and she would just like die next to me. So cute. But I loved her so much. She's so gorgeous. Don't play dead for too long.
Hang on a second. Come on, buddy, get off. I need to go look at something. Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, that was my cat.
Alright, false alarm. Thought that might have been hail. Nope,
Is it
just
still
rain.
thundering pretty heavy?
Oh, it's settled down a little bit. There's still thunder, but it's not really intensive.
Oh, okay, that might be meaning it's moving away then.
Yeah, usually a typical storm won't be like, insane.
Yeah, cats are unpredictable. I like looking after them though, because at least now I can keep them happy, I suppose. Having to clean the litter box every day. I know, right?
I'll give you a little tip with that. My cat, Oliver, he has a litter box, but he has the option of just going outside. Like, we've tried to just make him indoor, but he's a wild one. He does not like to be cooped up in the house all day. He'll basically throw a big tantrum at any time that we keep him inside for any length of time that he does not deem appropriate. Probably the worst times for him, unfortunately, is like Halloween, because the black cat stigma is so strong then. We basically have to lock him inside because we've been worried that someone might do something mean to him.
You get people that abduct cats on Halloween night as well. I've seen that happen too many times to people around where I live.
He's pretty much the black green eye stereotype cat, but he's big fluffy ball of love and occasionally meanness, but let's not talk about that in front of him. Alright, so that ending finally checks out. Aside from a few minor things. I think I have one more route to go. There are very evil people in this world.
I usually keep my cats indoors because I know I live in a village, but behind my house is a garage, and behind the garage, well, in front of the garage is the main road, so yeah, I've seen a lot of cats have their life end there, so I wouldn't want that to happen to mine.
We can pretty much get away with it, I think, here, because even though we're in like a suburb, there's not that much traffic, typically. Also, our cat generally likes to hang around in the natural neighborhood, not say the streets.
Because we live in front of a field, which is kind of nice, but there's dogs there too. If we had like lived on the other side of the field, it might have worked out better because it's a bit quieter over there. But our cat, Pudding, she would just, like, when she was outside and before we took her in, she would just sit outside our house. Like, she would just stay there and wait for my mother or, like, me to put food out there. Or, like, one of my sisters or someone. She'd just stay there because she knew she was getting fed. But she didn't want to go with anyone else, so... Why would anyone want to abduct a cat? I don't know. I've seen people abduct cats to, like, sell. Like, I've legitimately seen people just steal cats to sell them for money, like a quick buck. Depends on the age of the cat. If it's young enough to breed, people will breed the hell out of them. Or you can get, like, the crazy end of the spectrum, where someone will abduct a cat and they'll literally, like, just treat it the worst they can. Like, they'll put it in a bag and throw it in a lake. I'm not even joking, that's happened. There's people that make a lot of money on the black market through that.
Whew. Making more progress. That's good. Got pretty much most of the endings worked out except for Phase 2. Not too concerned about that one, I think. I'm gonna have to think about how I'm gonna execute it a little bit, but other than that, should be pretty good to go.
Anonymous. Good God. I can't believe there's people out there that do that. But
My
there are
freaking
people
nerves.
that do it.
I thought for a second that I heard a tornado siren and my heart just leapt out of my chest.
Oh
False
God.
alarm. But yeah, if you think I'm kidding, I'm not kidding. That stuff really messes with me when I hear that kind of noise.
I think I would hear it through your mic if it started going there, imagine.
Sometimes it's a little hard to tell. Whew. Sometimes it's pretty loud, but but sometimes... Oh, hold on a second. But sometimes, it's a faint noise, and you just barely can tell it's there, if you're not paying attention.
Basically, what you're telling me is they wanted to skimp on siren alarms, so they decided to stretch it out as thinly as they possibly could.
No, it's just like... I think it's more to do with, like, the situation, like the environment, because sometimes you'll be able to hear it really loud, and sometimes it's just, like, faint. So I imagine it's just, like, hard to travel that distance sometimes when there's that much of an intense storm. And the noise. If it's a really loud storm, I do actually have a fun tornado story. So I was at Joplin with my grandma, and I was always paranoid. Like, I've always been paranoid about tornadoes, but as a kid, I would like literally keep an eye on the sky often, just watching for a funnel cloud, having no idea how big those actually are. So anytime I thought I saw something that was like a funnel cloud, I would always kind of like ask, is that like a funnel cloud? Having no idea how big those actually are.
Oh, let me tell you how pissed my parents or my grandmother got when I was like, "It's the storm, we need to get out of it."
But here's the fun part of that story. So I'm kind of like watching the sky because it's a storm coming, and it's a particularly nasty one from what I could tell. And I'm just looking at it, and I see what I think are funnel clouds. I very much doubt it was. But, I like, do you think it's a tornado? And then we get inside the department store. I think it's either Walmart or Lowe's. And as soon as we get in the garden center, the sirens start blaring. I shit you not. Sorry. But yeah, the second we walked in, the sirens just went on full attack.
Oh no.
And we pretty much ran right for the bathrooms.
That wouldn't help my anxiety. You know what? We have seen tornadoes here, but the tornadoes here are like really harmless because they're usually like little cloud forms, but they don't form enough to actually be a tornado. If you know what I mean, it's hard to explain.
Like they whip up, but they don't form to the ground. You mean?
Yeah. I think there's a name for it, but I can't put a finger on what that word might be.
I'm sure I've heard it before, but I don't remember right now. But I would definitely recommend not getting close to that, even if it doesn't form properly, because that's still strong wind. It just hasn't wrapped the clouds around it yet. Like, even if it hasn't physically touched down, that does not mean that wind can't do something.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you can have a tornado just like lingering above the ground, and it can still tear things up. Oh, and did you know tornadoes can actually have twins? Triplets or quadruplets. Or even one big tornado with 4 circling around it.
It's like the thing people say when there's one tornado, there's usually a couple after it, but they're usually smaller.
But yeah, water spouts are also dangerous as well. So if you ever go like, oh, it's just a water spout, yeah, don't think that, because if it heads your way, you need to be out of there. Like, if you can see a tornado, just in general, you're too close. Like, if you ever see one, you are in danger, period.
I've seen fences get ripped up where I live, and trees fall, but I don't live near any big trees, so... I know one place that would be really dangerous in a storm. And there's like this cliff edge that no one really uses anymore, but like I guess elderly use it. But it's like this cliff, and it's like fenced off by a fence, and there's like a ton of trees there. And then this one tree that's like so big. I don't know what it is, but it's massive. We have a couple of them around here, but they're huge. And if that fell on you, that'd probably take out like at least 3 houses before it was done. Really strong high-low pressure shifts. Yeah, like we're prone to boring weather, just not tornadoes and floods and stuff. Like, we're not on a wetland. We live on a hill, so we're not susceptible to like anything like that. And where we are, just tornadoes don't happen. Any earthquakes that happen usually happen in Wales, so we don't even get those either. It's just rain. Rain, a little bit of wind, that's it.
Hey Zephyr, have you ever heard of a fire tornado?
Firestorm? Yes, those are common in Australia, aren't they?
I have no idea, but yeah, there are tornadoes that can be legitimately made out of fire. Like, fires can cause them in rare circumstances. Like, big wildfires can do it.
Yeah. They've had like fires in California as well like that, haven't they?
I think, I am not positive, wasn't there like a big London fire one time or something that tore up the whole city or something? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong city.
I don't think it was London. I would have seen it.
No, I mean like in history, not like recently.
In history? Are you talking about like the 1600s?
I think it might have been that one.
Great Fire of London?
Probably. I think I heard something about it possibly being a fire tornado that caused it to get that bad.
I think the winds didn't. I think the winds helped the fire spread quicker. Is what happened, and because all their buildings were made out of wood, they just completely toppled one after the other. And I don't know if you've ever actually been to London, but they still have the really tight roads. Like, they literally tried to cram as many buildings as they could in one spot. So the roads are like tiny. So like the gap between the houses was so small it spread that way too.
Alright, what's on the agenda still?
I can't believe it, but I've nearly finished the lineup for Rider 3. I might have to touch up a little bit, but...
Mind if I get a full view look?
Yep, let me zoom out. I better not rotate it sideways. Oh, sorry, I'll zoom out one more. I got my little navigator so I can, like, see what it will look like full view. And I can also use it to zoom in and out.
Looks pretty nice so far. Alright, gonna see what the weather's like.
Yeah, keep safe.
Light thunderstorms and rain.
Fires are weird physics that consume oxygen but also heat the air around them, which creates both high and low pressure fluctuations. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just double check Discord, see if someone's messaged me about anything unrelated to the stream. Thankfully I can actually get away with checking it and still draw.
Looks like it's mostly to our north, but that's like a still image of the radar.
I haven't heard any thunder from your mic in a while, so it might be moving away. If like the time between the flash and the sound is getting like further apart, then it's going away from you.
Expect occasional thunderstorms for the next hours. Okay, so right now we're just cloudy, but they're expecting another set of heavy thunderstorms to move in at 5. And it's basically going to continue. Oh dear lord. This is basically going to be going on from now to 7 o'clock a.m. tomorrow.
Oh wow.
And it's currently 4:45 where I'm at, so from 4:45 till 7 o'clock.
It's about 8 hours-ish. Bit more, bit less.
Tornado Alley. How I hate and love you. It says nothing about tornadoes on the forecast, so if they've not mentioned it yet, I don't believe we're going to have anything to worry about, because they will usually have a advisory well in advance of just the storm actually physically arriving to you. Then again, thunderstorms are indeed some of the more random and scary things on the planet. Anyway.
Feels good when you draw and you have wrist pain. Means you're going quite quick.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop for now.
Alright, you done?
Yeah, I've got a lot done today.
Alright, that's cool.
Even just 3 hours I got a lot done.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I finish the flats on this piece first, and then I will also call it. I think before I finish up fully though, I'm going to do some Senti practice just to let people know that I'm still doing it. But it will literally be like 10 minutes of practice and nothing else, like I'm not gonna do too much.
Alright. This was fun.
We should do it again at some point. I don't know how soon, but gets a lot done.
Anyway, I'll see everyone next time. Bye.
Alright, see you, AD.